Bill Shari, 290 Eaton Avenue. I agree with everything that Mr. Carroll said, with one minor exception. It's true that the unemployment rate that you hear about all the time doesn't include people who have stopped looking for work. The federal government does publish a rate that includes people who have stopped looking for work, and part-timers for that matter, who would rather work full-time. And but that's something usually looked at only by economists. And I don't think it's as high as 18%. I haven't looked at it in the last month, but I think it's more like 15%, which is still more than we would want to have. I have an update on 1104 Apple Butter Road. That's the stone house that stands to be demolished because we don't have protections in place for houses that were built in 1830. This is a big one, by the way, and I'm going to be giving pictures to you at a future meeting. It's 5 windows wide on the 2nd floor. So that's one of the bigger stone houses that were built in 1830. I learned last Wednesday that the city planners and engineers have filed pages of comments with the developer, and the developer is revising the plans accordingly, but the house still stands to be demolished if nothing is done. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Gross? Mr. Burns?
Danny Grove, 2420 Henderson Place. I'd like an answer to one question, but I'd like the answer when I'm finished up here.
That will go to the chair.
Thank you. In some July 24th media coverage, the chair of the Finance Committee cited outstanding revenue to the City of Bethlehem from a stakeholders agreement, the Bethlehem Parking Authority and the Ellis Mill Partnership. It totaled over $1 million. I'd like to know if any or all of this money has been received yet. As a taxpayer and small business owner, I make all my tax payments on time. It's not a lot of money, but I'm sure that if I don't make them on time, the city's not going to carry me for long, and I'll hear from the city. I think it's about time that those who owe the most pay up, particularly given the city's budget and cash situation. On a different topic, we learned recently that the Bethlehem Public Library had to wait for its final 2009 disbursement from the city until February of 2010. It's very disturbing for a number of reasons. First of all, it's unconscionable that the city didn't honor its commitment in a timely fashion and probably caused the library to take a line of credit to meet its operating expenses. And during a Finance Committee meeting in August, the Council President questioned that during an audit review and was basically told, based on his assumption, that was because of state budget cuts. Well, the library had already cut their services to reflect those state budget cuts, and I think it's very disconcerting that nobody from the administration or council who might have been aware of this saw fit to mention the fact that it may have been due to the city's non-payment of the fourth quarter 2009 disbursement to the library. Our public library is a treasure, and it offers a variety of services for which demand has actually increased during this recession. And for many struggling families, it is providing the most affordable kind of entertainment that they can have, the free kind, whether they're reading books or taking DVDs or videos out of the library. Not paying obligations on a timely basis by Bethlehem City government, further state funding cuts, and the anticipated withdrawal by Lower Saucon Township will severely impact library services. The first of these issues should not even exist. And finally, in an August 23rd op-ed piece, the city controller mentioned savings in the amount of $10 million due to cooperation with the administration on the CI program. If that number is accurate, where did $10 million end up in savings? And if that number is actually accurate, why didn't the taxpayers in this city get a real estate tax reduction? I thought of something else as I was walking up here. These were prepared statements. You may be entertaining a certificate of appropriateness proposal involving a business on Main Street to allow for awnings across the sidewalk. I hope that if that ends up in your laps, that you will reject it immediately. The favoritism that is being shown to this particular business is outrageous, but the implications for our downtown are tremendous. And establishing that precedent for any business, and you can sit up there as elected officials and say, well, we'll look at it on a case-by-case basis. No. You set the precedent, you're hard-pressed to turn anyone else down, and they will be lining up and they will be ruining the ambiance of our downtown. So I strongly urge you that as that works its way through the system, and if it ends up in your laps, that you support the rejection of that particular project implementation, so that we continue to maintain what it is about downtown Bethlehem that we love. This isn't about sidewalk dining. This is about a projection of the sidewalk that will further, in some areas, make it more difficult for pedestrians to maneuver on city sidewalks. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dolan? Go right ahead, Ms. Dolan.
I wanted to respond to the, you asked for a response, so I wanted to give you a response only on what I know, which is the Ellisville Partnership piece. Ralph Karp and I met fairly recently, maybe two weeks ago, to discuss our different points of view about whether or not the Ellisville Partnership actually owns. So it's not 148 that's on the books, it's like 128,000. I can tell you this: $66,000 of that chunk were pre-approved by Ralph Karp and Dennis Reichert. They were taken from a real dollar account that still existed in the NICU. I'm pretty sure it was the NICU, marked Ellis Mill Improvements. And you know, Mr. Karp didn't want to take any chances. He checked with Dennis, and those funds were used by the city to bring the bill, all for code issues, all for code, all for safety things, and for ADA accessibility. Probably because a lot of that money came from CDBG, was still left over from CDBG. In addition, there exists a contract, I might even have a copy of it on me, between the City of Bethlehem and the Pennsylvania Historic Museum Commission, which binds the city to all maintenance at this point until actually it ends. I think it ends sometime this month. Between the City of Bethlehem and the Pennsylvania Historic Commission, which binds the city to all maintenance at the mill. So when you take that $66,000 and you look at what's left, it's maintenance. That was, you know, we replaced in our alarm system. It's all clearly maintenance. So Mr. Karp and I talked about how we can move forward in the future to make these things more clear, and there's going to be a memo of understanding drafted between the city and the Ellisville Partnership and any other interested parties as we move forward, so that these kinds of discrepancies don't occur again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dennis, question